Before we begin, you know what's up. All links are at packfiller.com. You guys, Scratch Labs people. Okay, shipping might not be able to get your gifts to your door in time for Christmas, but you can always grab a cookbook for the cyclist on your list, print off a picture of the cover, and truly give a gift that Cousin Eddie would say is the gift that gives the whole year through, Clark. Trust me, great recipes, great fuel. Check them out at scratchlabs.com. Doer activewear, people. Jack's going to get mad about this one. Most comfortable active pair of pants you will ever buy. No, really stretchy, water-resistant, breathable, and effing styling. Cuffed or not. Is anybody wearing theirs?
Yep.
You are?
Mm-hmm. No.
Are they cuffed?
Yep.
Shit, I don't cuff mine.
I'm just going to Ross.
Came from work.
I'm getting some Jaggins.
Going to Ross.
Fuck you guys.
These are fucking brilliant, dude. I'm going to say on the air why you didn't get a pair. It's because we were supposed to do the ad reads in November, and you were gone fixing a house in November. So don't me because you left us, Jack. You left us.
It's my fault.
Yes.
It's my fault, not yours.
Cuffed or not, you will not be sorry. These things are game changers. Check out the link or use the code PACKFILLER15 at checkout for your discount. Lastly, Untapped Maple, people. Great flavor, great fuel. I'm not doing well with my reads so far, but great products based on pure Vermont maple syrup. And if you haven't tried it, you're missing out. Small, easily digestible packets and the best stroop waffles you can find outside of Brussels. Paul's not here, so I can say Belgian shit for the entire show. Jenna.
Do you think Paul's on live right now watching?
No. Paul's doing whatever he's told. He's a smart guy, man.
Text.
Yeah. He's like, yes, sir. Whatever. Yeah, sure. I'm on it. Yeah, I'll do it. Am I wrong?
No.
Paul's a smart guy.
Yeah, but it's also the German factor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as he said many a time on the show, he says, my wife is German, my wife is German, my wife is German. You know, it makes it sound... Well, the weather outside is frightful, but I'm not going to get all Oh, that's what I wrote. I ruined a joke.
Start over.
Yeah, we'll give
Let's
you a
do it
second
again.
chance.
We'll edit that out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't a live show.
This is not.
Well, the weather outside is frightful, but I'm not going to get all creepy like the lyrics of Baby It's Cold Outside.
Oh, my God. That is...
It's a rapey song.
I thought you were going to say
it?
you're delightful to go with.
But I am so delightful. But instead, we're going to talk about bikes. It's life on two wheels. It's life in the pack. It is Packfiller Podcast. Let's see who's all here, shall we? And I think we've pretty much spoiled that surprise. If you're watching us live on live stream on YouTube, you already know. Or if you listen to the first part of the show, you already know. It's time for the intro question, gentlemen. What is one place you've traveled to that you never want to go back to? A place you've traveled that you never want to return. I'll give you a second. Paul usually is just like, bing, got it. Oh, Jack's got it. So there we go then. You're not going to understand this order because Paul is on family duties tonight. He's here when he's here.
Me?
This is the introduction. He's here when he's here. The busiest self-employed guy I know, Mr. Jack Broadhead. How are you, man?
I'm good.
Where have you traveled that you never want to return?
It's cycling, too. I just wanted to see if there was any other place before I say this. Cincinnati, Ohio.
Really?
Nationals 1998, 7-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just shitty.
It's just shitty.
Yeah.
It's shitty. White Castle. They got
Cincinnati.
But yeah, no,
I'm making this up,
There's
man.
something there.
It's all improvised.
Okay, it's the least exciting place I've been to in cycling.
Okay.
In the world, anywhere.
Okay. Next, he's the nice guy on the show. Oh, no. That's the third introduction. I got to hold off on that one. Next, okay, sure. Next, he's the nice guy on the show, and I am pretty sure I'm pretty sure he has a dark side, Mr. Jackson Bulger. Do you have a dark side? Are you going to tell us?
Like, what do you mean?
I mean,
you haven't seen it?
Do you
It means
truly
a lot.
like plot the demise of your enemies when
You
we're
should
not
see him
looking?
at the end of a bike ride.
Yeah, I saw him drop an F-bomb going across
No
the finish line
way.
once.
One
Yeah.
time. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Around you guys.
Do you let it fly all the time
At
when you're
home.
home? It's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah,
you're
sometimes when we're on rides, too.
Yelling at Jimmy. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
you, cat.
Oh,
bad cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Place that I have traveled that I didn't really love.
Portland.
See, no, well,
I'm just kidding.
it's another place in Oregon.
more than a travel.
Yeah. Eugene, Oregon.
Really?
Yeah.
Not the best.
Really?
At least from what I saw from
Go
it.
Beavers.
No,
Oh,
that's
go
ducks.
God,
That's the
don't
Ducks?
even.
Oh, it's the
Jeez,
Ducks.
they'd kill you
Yeah.
if you said that.
I'm
We'll
good.
edit that out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw black for a second. Whole family's Oregon State fans.
Oh my God!
Oh, are they?
Oh yeah, like a lot of my family went to Oregon State.
Corvallis.
I was
so that's
gonna go there.
Corvallis.
Really?
Yeah. Corvallis.
Oh, Corvallis Beavers. Yeah.
I would say Eugene, or I forget the town in Colorado, but I went somewhere.
Denver.
No, it wasn't Denver.
All places in Colorado are pretty cool.
But it was the place that I got my tattoo, and I forget what it's
got a
called.
tattoo?
You guys don't know he has a tattoo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a bike on my back.
Take it off.
I'm not gonna take my shirt off on camera.
Strap.
Wow, I am.
It's a bike
Yeah, it's a bike.
on his shoulder
Wow.
blade.
No.
Is it your bike?
I mean, it's a
a
road
bike.
bike. It's like a stick. It's like if you drew like a stick figure bike,
Like the
That's what it
road
looks like.
signs.
I want
Yeah.
one of these
Yeah.
now.
Is that your lower back right here?
I'm gonna
that's
get
where
one.
it is. Yeah. No, it's on my left shoulder blade.
Yeah.
But wherever that place in Colorado was, didn't really love it.
Where
But I
was
got
it?
a good souvenir from it.
Jack, where did we
What were you
break
like
down?
14?
Where did we
and your
break
dad got
That's
it?
see, this is the story.
Is it Castle Rock?
It's like it starts with the K. Anyway,
Castle Rock's north of Colorado Springs.
Remember we broke
on the
that-
way to Denver.
Doesn't matter. We're gonna
keep
go
going,
down
keep
a
going.
fucking rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Third, he's potentially the most masochistic cyclist I know, and that is a compliment, Mr. Sam Waples.
That is
How are
more
you, man?
fitting than nice guy.
Yeah, right.
That
Joe's
is
just like,
way more fitting.
oh, I feel
Yeah.
horrible.
Fort
So
Collins.
good.
Fort
Take it.
Collins.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that
That's
sucks.
pretty rough.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tenasket. Who here knows where Tenasket is?
Isn't it north? North? It's on your ride, isn't it?
It's
on
north of
on-
my
on
ride.
that- okay,
Yeah.
but it's that.
Yeah, it's
Curlew?
north central Washington.
Is it
And,
just?
you know, when you say Tenasket, what state would you think that is in?
I think like
Arizona.
I would
Missouri?
think like Missouri.
Yeah.
Like Missouri.
Tenasket,
Yeah.
Missouri.
Yeah, I'm from Tenasket. You know, it's like it just don't ever go there. There's nothing there that
Really?
you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you stay there a long time?
Yeah, just a friend's wedding.
Oh,
It was
okay.
way too long.
Yeah.
to his cousin.
A night.
Yeah.
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 Me, I'm the guy who has an announcement to make. I'm Pat Bulger. But first, the place that I really don't need to hang out anymore, and other than the fact that there is a kind of pseudo family member there, it's the fucking Tri-Cities.
Yeah. that was
You're
a
over
close
it?
third for me.
Yeah, it's for those of you who don't know who we're talking about, it's Central Washington. It's Kennewick, Pasco, and Richland, Washington. And
That
there's
might
nothing
like
bad
that's
going on there.
same environment, and now dial that down. Like
Really?
Tri Cities would be like the equivalent of Seattle to Tenasket. Like
Tenasket.
it's so small.
They're
but
just-
same horribleness.
I'm pretty sure every door you walk out in the Tri-Cities has a whistle and a tumbleweed rolling by your front yard. At some point in time, it's just like, that's what I imagine
and
every
then you
door.
see just hopes and dreams.
Yeah, and you occasionally hear the sniffling crying of a child who can't find their mother. It's a fucking terrible
so
place.
sad.
It's every spaghetti western. I'm just trying to paint a picture for people. You guys ready for my announcement?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I've
fit
done
size large bibs.
They do fit, but I think I'm going to still go with XL.
Dang it.
They do fit, and maybe I should, but do the new ones fit a little snug?
Oh, I like that. I want to feel like
Do
a
you?
packed sausage when I'm riding.
I got a skin suit for you. then.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
They
my skin
feel-
suit's like I gotta exhale all the
Yeah,
way.
to
Get
zip it up?
To zip
Yeah.
it
That's
up. and
the
then-
right size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Totally. I'm
And
for
there's
real
no
right
way
now.
I can reach that fucking pocket.
Okay,
Like,
stop
I'm
for a
just
second.
like-
Jackson, how tight are your shorts?
My short, I
Like-
don't have any of the new shorts.
Yeah, or the
Look at the
old
guy's
shorts?
skin
They're
suit. You can see
not
the
that-
picture.
Not that snug.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I just I don't want.
I wouldn't want my okay. Sorry,
My announcement is I have done a little soul searching, and I have realized, and I'm not going to say I'm pulling an Elon Musk, and the listeners have spoken because fuck that guy. But I am going to say that I have a tendency to swear a little too much on the podcast, I think.
You're making up for
My
it.
parents got to you.
Yeah, you know what? They made me think about it. And in 2023, I'm not going to stop.
You should
but I'm
put
going to
money in a
trim
jar.
it
Yeah,
down.
you don't want to
No,
stop it.
I'm going to trim it down.
There is such thing
I'm
as
going to
tasteful.
reduce the amount. And so what I'm going to do now for the next couple weeks is I'm going to give each and every one of you guys an opportunity to tell me how many F-bombs I get during a show. You're going to give me my allowance. And since Jack's not here very often, Jack, how many F-bombs am I allowed tonight?
Tonight?
Oh, you're starting tonight.
Let's
I'm
just
starting
do it
the new
tonight.
year.
I'm starting tonight to wean myself
Good.
off, and the goal in the new year is to, just like
down to 2.
pounds. Two?
Give him like,
No, 10.
Yeah,
tonight.
give him like 30.
But you want to get down
make
to
it
2.
make it achievable.
No,
Yeah.
10.
Do you know the last
10
show?
10
Did
I
you
heard.
listen to it?
I
like
listened,
40 or
yeah.
50.
No,
Ten's a lot.
You know, every
Is 10 a
time
lot?
somebody,
that much.
somebody brought it up, it was like 12 more than the last time you brought it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't
It's
realistic.
like a fish
You're probably
tail.
at like
Yeah.
a 20
Yeah.
when they said 41.
All right.
So
10?
I say 10.
I'm gonna put a
I
little
believe
piece
in you.
of paper out here.
I believe in you.
I'm gonna put a little piece of paper out here, and I'll mark down every time I fucking say it. Damn it, one.
Oh man.
Those are precious. Don't
So,
burn them.
there's one right there. So, gentlemen, talk to me. How's training going? And I want to talk to the guy in the room that has the newest bike.
Who has the new bike?
That's you.
Oh, yeah.
Has your
Jack.
bike sitting? Is your bike sitting in the corner? Like
My bike is
like
sitting in the corner
like a
lonely.
sad child in the Tri-Cities.
You got fit.
Jack, come back.
So I don't have a trainer that I'm willing to put it on. Like I don't have a bike rack I'm willing to put it on. So
Really?
it sits carefully in the corner.
I
My
get
old bike
that.
is on the trainer. I forgot my shoes coming over
Is
here.
Paul
so-
that short, Sam, or are you just that tall? Because I just noticed you were like way up high in Paul's chair. But anyway, sorry. Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's sitting there. It's waiting for April.
Have you trained since the
Not on
beginning of
it.
November?
No.
Any bike?
Not on a bike.
Wow.
I've been running a lot, and the wife's got me doing a 18-minute core thing that I really need badly.
I do too. Yeah, well, I'll suddenly set up straight.
I'm
Okay.
as tall as Sam when I say
Okay.
Oh, I lowered my seat.
He did lower his seat.
I was getting poor cells.
Jackson, talk to me about your training. Is it
Have
is
you
it
hit
happening?
800 watts
We
yet?
are in the time.
We are, and
Yeah.
it is. So, yeah.
I love this. I love that he says it. That's it. I
Quiet about it.
Yeah, I mean,
know. Keep it close to the chest. I want that all season long.
no, they like. I mean,
Dude, we're going to get so deep in people's heads. Like,
That's-
we're going to roll
that's
up
the
at
goal.
some of the rides in the beginning of the
I don't
season,
know if
and I'll
he's
be like,
fast
you
or
don't
slow."
want to see Jackson.
yeah. No, I
He'll destroy you.
yeah.
Stuff a couple jerseys
Yeah.
in your midsection so you just
Right.
look like a chubber coming up to this.
Exactly. Yeah, that's.
I can make fat jokes because I make fat jokes about myself. Is that okay?
It is.
I hope so.
All in all, though, I rode yesterday, and I was pleasantly surprised at how things went. So,
Yeah. How long did you ride?
how long?
Are you willing
Can you
to
hit
even mention that?
Yeah, I rode for about 30 minutes, I think.
What was your max power?
I know what the average was. You can look on Strava.
God, you savage.
God damn it.
Yeah, geez.
I know.
I kind of like it.
I do too. I kind of want
Yeah.
to try it out,
Here to
but
roll this season.
I have too much of an issue with like wanting to brag all the time.
I don't know if I want to brag. I just
Oh, I
want I just want to show that I'm playing along.
I want people to know my greatness. Taste it.
So
feel
talk
it.
to me about this week.
No. I did 5 days. Yeah.
Five. Wow.
5. I felt we're pretty good about that actually,
Yeah.
because I think I got like almost 6 hours on the trainer for a week.
Wow.
That's
Jeez.
pretty solid, especially like doing high intensity intervals. Man, those are way harder
So
than
you're
tempo. or
you're doing intensity now.
yeah.
It's not
I mean,
just zone 1 and
I'm
2.
mixed. So like
Okay.
tomorrow is intervals at above threshold, but then Mondays are mellow and they're just like straight endurance. Like I'm
Okay.
sitting at like probably half of my threshold
Yeah.
to 2/3.
Just almost bored.
Simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost bored.
That's
just
what-
spinning it out.
Yeah. Jack, you're looking a little
So
tense.
in the
you're
next,
looking a little tense,
I
Jack.
know, right? In the next couple of weeks, though, I'm getting out on the road, and you fuckers
you
are
are.
going to be still on your trainer because I'm going back to the west side tomorrow. It's just
I want to see a
raining
picture.
and 40.
Yeah, I want to see a
raining and
picture of
40.
you out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I need Strava reports, Jack.
Okay. Well,
Because, you know,
if it doesn't happen, if it's not on Strava.
yeah.
Okay.
Because people are clamoring to get on this team. And
Yeah, I hear. Yeah,
and you're
there's a
apparently-
waiting
you're
list. I'm
apparently-
holding.
You're apparently screwing it all up.
You're holding spots here,
Yeah,
Jack.
Jack. You know, but we could
You're writing
easily,
checks your ass
you know-
can't check.
Right.
Cash. Shoot, I messed it up.
That was good though.
I
I'll give it
tried.
to you.
It's close.
I got 4 workouts in this past week, and that was before
Wow.
Christmas break, so that's not bad. Nothing too intense. I did some very specific. I am on Wahoo's system. By the way, why is everything just cutting out vowels for words for the names of a product? Everything is just like, hey, Patrick, is my name now. Packfiller. It's just like, why are they doing that?
Maybe they hate valves.
I don't. What is that?
What other companies are doing it besides like Wahoo though?
Oh, there's another one.
There's
I
a
think I
couple
have it
out
in the
there,
notes here. I have it in the notes here about one of a couple of the pro teams. So I did those. I did some good workouts on and some strength training. For example, today I did a sprint workout today, and my sprints asked me to hit 717 watts. Suck it, Jackson.
He's 760, bro.
right.
But I'm 53.
Yeah.
And
And-
how
Yeah,
long but I only
I'm not
sustained
getting into this,
I only
actually.
no,
No,
I
I'm
only
not
I only sustained it for about 12 seconds. It wasn't very long. I'm not.
Do you know what? Okay, I'm just gonna really drive the nail in because I feel like it tonight. Think about this, Jackson. How much do you weigh?
Fuck you, Sam. Damn it! There's 2.
That's my game tonight. I'm gonna draw out all of those. I'm hitting 11 with you tonight.
I weigh between 165 or 163 to 165.
He's even keeping his weight close to the chest. Don't tell us. He knows that he's 164.2.
You aren't gonna ask me my weight, are you?
I
Sam?
know
He
it.
knows exactly.
You aren't gonna ask me my weight, are you? That's really personal.
Can we? Yeah, let's do it.
I've
What's
been
your
talking
weight?
about my weight on this show for the last 10 years. I am not gonna lie. I open my cards to everybody because nobody's gonna be like, Pat. My tactic is that Pat's slow and chubby, so he's never gonna win a race. So when they're going into a sprint with me, it's like, oh, let the
I'll tow him to the line.
I'll be like Jupe Milk. It'd be
Yeah.
like, let the guy die,
Yeah.
and then I'll crush their asses. I am currently,
Oh yes.
3.
7 more.
I am currently 209 pounds.
Okay. So we got a 40.
My race
I
weight-
guess light. I was guessing, but I guess lighter than that.
My
just so you
race
know.
weight. My race weight. I would like to be is 190.
That's up.
That's achievable. But
So
so
anyway.
40-point swing, right?
Yeah, I feel really.
And we're talking. You were how many watts? You were 7.
Wait,
16.
between him.
But my FTP's in the 300s and Jackson's isn't. Right?
I haven't taken an FTP test in a while.
God, keeping it close to the chest.
Gosh, she's just I'm just
Anyway.
I'm like everybody look at me.
I know.
And
This is
he's
what
like,
kills me because it's the same
I'm telling
relationship to me and my brother.
Is it?
Oh yeah, and he's like, because he weighs less than
He's
that.
at-
He's
he's
like
like,
140 pounds when he's
Yeah.
soaking wet.
Yeah.
And so it's like, screw you, David.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Does anybody have any plans for 2023 that they'd like to target prior to making our New Year's resolutions? Especially you, Jack, because you won't be here for our New Year's show next week.
I might.
Any events you'd like to target? Anything you're eyeballing? Any goals? Any objectives?
I gotta start a race, but I really,
race.
really would really love to do lots of racing and go to nationals with Paul. That would be a huge achievement. To just go support the year of Paul.
It is the year
Yeah.
of Paul. You know where?
Like
they
I'd spend
are,
the
right?
money. Yeah, in Florida. I hate Florida.
No, they're not in Florida.
No, they're in Georgia. Oh, I'm going to Florida, and I'll just go up to Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
just happen to be. In
I
the
got
neighborhood.
We got family in Orlando.
So you don't have any like
Not a specific because
specific
I
events.
haven't seen a schedule. I don't know who's actually putting on.
Anybody
bike
else?
There's one specific race that I have my eye on that's a local one.
RC3.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I said the name of the race. Did I give away your secret?
No. I
Jeez.
last year I got second and first. This year I'm not planning on doing that.
So like 12th and
Yep.
9th.
I'm planning
and
on
7th.
actually getting last this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna do the TT?
I don't. You see, I would love to do the TT if it wasn't on a 50-some mile road race day.
It's the morning. Yeah, it's for people that know it's an Omnium event. It's a time trial road race and crit in that order, and the time trial is in the morning of the day of the road race, and the road race is brutal. I mean,
I'm surprised they don't do it
Yeah.
the morning of the crit. You know
Yeah.
that's the way it always used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Why would you have?
Which makes more sense. And you can also sit in a crit. I mean, it sucks, but like
Yeah.
in a road race, you're exposed in winds and
or even
Especially where it is.
Well, it's
like
also
a,
an endurance thing where crit's like, oh, I got an hour to survive.
Yep.
even like a Friday evening. Be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Sam, you got any putting your
I'm
name
doing
on
like I'm gonna say that. Well, I definitely want to run support for RC3 for like I hope that David and I can show up to that, and I don't think that Jackson will be a 2 then, but you'll be a 3, right?
I need
he
one.
needs one
Well, I need
more,
one top 3.
But don't you need him in
Yeah,
the
it'll be
course of
fine. You
one
can
year?
get that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
so
So
we-
it starts all over.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
Does
There-
it?
Nope, that changed.
Oh,
That
good.
changed a few years ago, so your points accumulate. Anyway,
Oh, good.
Cool.
but so you'll be hopefully a 3. Just
Yeah.
like if there's a
Yeah.
race that we can find that you can get
Before then.
yeah,
Yeah.
that you can be a 3. Because then we could race together. That would be, I would say, ultimate dream. But then besides that, I'm going gravel hard.
Are you?
I am. I love it.
Speaking of which, I signed up for the Last Best Ride in Whitefish, Montana,
Isn't that
in August.
Yeah, end of August though.
No, early August.
Oh, I might be here then.
Need your bear spray for that one.
What?
Need your bear spray for that
Well,
one.
that's the funny thing you should mention because I signed it up for it. The long course, over 90 miles, about 8,000 plus feet of climbing, and you can actually check a box in your entry fee for a can of bear spray.
Yeah.
And they provide
terrifying.
you a can of bear spray to take with you.
Yeah.
Because it's Montana in
Yeah.
summer, and so I'm my wife. I was like, "Honey, should I get a can of bear spray?"
It's $5.
Oh my God! Yes, get a can of bear spray.
It's not worth it.
Not worth
No.
it.
Yeah,
No,
well, she was
too
actually,
heavy.
she's terrified of bears. She's always been terrified of bears, and so she said to me that if I'm going to do that race, I need to get a can of bear spray. And I'm like, okay, I'll get. Oh, they have them right here. Maybe they know about bear spray better than I do because they're apparently bear running around the entire village all day long. Some people ride them to work.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
so I'm going to do
It's a
that.
town I'd like to live
Yeah,
in.
I have to sign up for stuff. That's one of my major things to work. I want to do the Rift in Iceland
Yeah.
after
be a
Brent.
good one.
So
Brent
signing up
Soderbergh.
makes you accountable. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
forces your
Yeah.
hand every
I got to train for it.
Unless you're me.
Unless you
How many, you remember?
You-
You were
yeah,
the one.
yeah.
I actually was listening back to that. It was one of the shows, like right before Paul went and did his TT, and you were like, "What do you think the chances are that Sam's actually going to race?"
And
this?
you didn't show up.
and I didn't show
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Even though I'd signed up for the TT and for RC3, and I didn't like ask for a refund or anything for that because I'm like, I support.
supporting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
support local racing.
I'm going to use the Tri-Cities as my metaphor for the entire night. You were like a tumbleweed
I know.
in Kirkland.
I know.
Not Kirkland. Whoops. Kennewick.
Kennewick.
Yep.
Kirkland. No, you're like a meth head in
Yeah.
Kennewick.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. I mean Kirkland. Shit.
It's the case.
Does that count? I can still say shit, right?
Yeah.
It's
We'll
the
get more
F-bombs?
specific in the new year.
Okay.
You have to wean off of this.
And I usually try to sign myself up for 20 start lines a year.
That's insane.
Well, I do a weekly mountain bike series that is over 2 months, so that's like 10 of them right there.
That used to not be insane.
I know.
Yeah.
We used to race 100
Totally.
fucking races
Totally.
a year. So
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
it's insane trying to find 20.
That's the thing.
20.
Is that it's just
Yeah.
it's
You know,
like finding them
you
where you're not
can't
having
find
to
'em
travel
here.
across the country.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's different now.
So I also set a weight goal. I usually set a weight goal. Last year I didn't hit it. I wanted to do the 190, and I didn't hit it last year, so I'm going to try and hit it this year.
It's a good goal.
Yeah. Although my wife looks at me sometimes, she's like, going, what the heck is wrong with you? See, I held back.
Good job.
I held back.
God, we're changing.
She said, what is wrong with you? I mean, is it our marriage in trouble or something like that? Because
Midlife crisis.
You're getting skinnier and you're just kind of...
You got cancer?
Yeah. You're not happy. You know, you're just you're mumbling around the house.
You're waking up at 3 a.m.
You're
saying, I'm fat.
Yeah, you're sneaking. You're sneaking like fake beer into your life. Thank you to Athletic Brewing, by the way. And she's just looking at me going, is our marriage in trouble? I'm like, no. She's like, why are you getting skinny? Are you doing it because you want to go out and cheat on me? And I'm like, no, I'm doing it because I want to beat the guys. I want to be as fast as the guys.
That's fair.
And she looks at me, she just goes, you're an idiot. And I'm like,
yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm your idiot.
That's part of it.
Yeah. Keep in mind that next week is the best of the 2022 episode. We have categories listing from, best overall cyclist, female, male, women's team, men's team, improved rider, consistent rider, non-world tour rider, best rookie signing, worst signing, biggest disappointment, and best race. We put that list out a couple weeks ago, and so that's what we're going to be talking about for our end of the year. So there we go. Wow, it took us forever to get to the news. Brought to us by our friends at Athletic Brewing, the best option for non-alcoholic craft brews. If your wife looks at you strange, just tell her it's delicious, give her a sip, and she will go, wow, I never knew. Athletic Brewing. Cav to the Sith is my first story's name. Mark Cavendish, and I'm going to screw up his name, Case Bowl? CES, Case Bowl, have been spotted in Spain as they link up with the Astana Kazakhstan team, who are expected to announce the signings of the pair immediately. Astana's approach for Mark Cavendish was first reported last week and followed up by reports that an agreement has been struck with the deal that includes Bowl, who had also been set to sign up for B&B Hotels. Now, Cavendish and Bowl are both in Altea in southeast Spain, with eyewitness reports linking both of the riders to the Astana camp. So, before I get to anything, and I tried to say that entire story with as much neutrality and upbeat positivity as I could possibly throw out there, before I spew my personal opinions about anything, even though the title of the story kind of gave something away, I'd like to hear from you guys on this news about Mark Cavendish.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely I think it's a weird transfer. Mm-hmm. They always seem like they never seem like they're a sprint team. They always seem like they try and go for some sort of GC or stage hunting kind of situation. But I guess with the acquisition of Case Bowl, that kind of changes it. I don't know.
Is it Case?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really weird. I think it's a really weird place for him to end up. But we will get to see him in the Astana Wrap. The annual wrap that they have. So there's that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Shit.
I try to forget about that.
But also with Astana, what else do they have now? They don't have Lopez anymore. So they need Fulsang's on Israel Premier Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So they don't have a star anymore. So really they need exactly. They need a big money signing. Will any of Cav's sponsorships? Specialized won't come. Oakley's the only one that I could see maybe coming. But like I said, it's just weird. But they needed that attention, that team did, or else they would kind of buckle under their own mediocrity.
Guys, is Cav going to the dark side here?
I think, kind of like what Jackson was saying is that they target races, right? So that could be really good for him because really they just want him to win one tour stage so that the famous photo of him being, crossing the line, breaking the record is in an Astana kit.
Yeah.
It makes total sense. Yeah. I would never want to join Astana. Yeah. Well, I guess I would.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. I would love to race at that level. That'd be cool.
Really?
I mean, come on. Astana comes up and you're like, you can race in the World Tour.
Ethically,
you'll be in the...
I just imagine, every time I see Vinokurov, I just imagine him talking like Dracula. Hey, you must come to race with us.
Oh,
yeah. Everybody, we have plenty of blood.
Didn't
He's just
Voldemort race for them in the end?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
God,
And-
that is a
and
good record.
That
right
was
there.
his downfall,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Both Voldemorts, like the real one
Yep.
and the not so real one.
Yep.
Does Sistana have the lead out? I mean, Mark can probably hunt for
He can
stages,
fend for himself
but
too.
but
yeah.
can he?
I think at a tour, no, he cannot win it alone. At the Tour de France, he cannot win by himself. I don't think.
What about your favorite character, Peter Sagan?
Oh, I mean, I'm not holding out hope for him either.
I'm just saying, like, he
We're
won
talking
them
about
all.
Cav here, man.
The completely different riders, though.
Yeah.
As
All
we've
right.
seen,
Yeah.
the recent Cav needs the perfect lead out to lead him to the victory.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, I mean, the national champs for England was a little different, or for Britain was a little different because in that breakaway he was probably the best of. But when we see him, for instance, go into a Champs-Elysees against the best in the world and lose
Well,
his
he
lead out
did
man,
that.
that it kind of shows us what happens. So I mean, if Case Bowl, who I think is that's really surprising that he's willing to give up his main sprinter opportunity from DSM to move to win Cav his record breaking win. I think that's really surprising. But I also bet you they told him if you give him his win, then you can be our sprinter.
Yeah.
I bet you they told him that. But one guy is, I mean, Michael Morkow's done it for a couple of years, but he's another breed. So I think
Morehouse still with.
yeah,
But
But
he's not.
he's
yeah,
not
I was
leaving.
Like, "Wah."
No. But
He was on the Packfiller podcast.
he was.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a lot though for Cav to surf the wheels.
Yeah. Okay. That's. I really wish he would have gone to Francaise. Did you? I really
It's
wanted
not
him
French
there.
enough.
Yeah.
I think it would have been
it's,
so
you know,
cool to
it's
have the
even more
record win
lackluster.
on a French team. I just that was my pie in the sky.
Or what about a Belgian team?
Yeah.
Winning it, Eddie's
yeah,
Belgian.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Nope.
So, making decisions is our next story. Belgian squad Lotto Destiny. That's the one that did it. It's DSTNY. Nova. Well, Y is technically a vowel sometimes,
Depends on
but
the
it's
time.
DSTNY instead of Destiny. Why are people cutting these vowels out? It's not cool. It's stupid. It doesn't look hip. Although I'm 50 something. Fuck. I'm at 4.
Man, you walked right up to that.
Yeah, I used
was-
that one on
gotta
purpose.
say it.
Yeah,
that was
that
just
was-
a random
that was
bullet I
placed
shot.
well.
You know, it's just like it's like Deadpool. You know, it's like
It was like an
I got
accent
fucked
mark.
with. Yeah, it was. They've opted to turn down invitations to the Giro d'Italia, Tirreno Adriatico, and Azulia Basque Country, the Tour of the Basque Country in 2023, to focus their strengths on scoring vital UCI ranking points later in the season. This is the formal Lotto Soudal. According to the Belgian media, the team have said they prefer to focus their efforts on non-World Tour races, such as the 4 Days of Dunkirk, which runs concurrently with the Giro d'Italia. Team was relegated, in case you were living in a cave or something like that, after 2022, and now needs to finish in the top pro team positions in the annual team rankings to be sure of invitations of all Grand Tour and other World Tour races in 2024. This is Caleb Ewan here on this team. Really, up until recently, Philippe Gilbert. Their World Tour teams are obliged to all World Tour races, but the best ranked pro teams can decline invitations. So, I want to talk about this ranking system. This idea that these teams are struggling very much like the football, soccer world to maintain their status, and now it's altering how they're participating in races. It's alternating. I mean, it's changing how tactics are even applied within individual races. Mm-hmm. So let's say you're in a stage race and you got a guy in the top 10, but it's better to go for a stage win and burn that person out just because you need those points. Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing for the sport?
You should speak about English Premier League because that is
Yeah.
probably our best example.
Yeah, I think When it comes to the English Premier League, what it is especially lately, money has become the object like surrounding the sport anymore. So realistically, the teams that can't buy the correct players typically don't survive, and most of the time that has to do with investments in like coaching and backroom staff like that. But it all comes back down to money. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we're probably going to see when it comes to cycling as well, if they continue to keep this around. If you can buy the best riders in the world, the best up-and-coming youth riders, and create that legacy for a long time, then you are going to have a legacy at the top. But if you can't buy the best riders, Lotto Destiny now has Caleb Ewan. And maybe Johnny Vermeesch.
When he had Caleb didn't have a good year last year. So just one or two riders, your stars, don't have a good year. You're out of the World Tour teams.
Exactly.
And Lotto, they've been a major team player for 2 decades in some players.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what we're going to start seeing now is like
Thomas DeHaan. Might get a couple stages here and there.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we see though in the English Premiership is that when one team drops down to the second division, usually they clean up the entire league and then go back and get relegated again. And so I think that's what's going to start happening with these teams. Like if you're going, like the term we use in cycling, if you're going to sandbag, you're probably going to win. Realistically, if they're going to choose the races where they have the better opportunities in, they're going to gain those points. So it's a smart idea, but I'm interested to see if riders are going to begin to jump ship because they aren't going to be given that attention anymore.
That's a great perspective. Yeah.
But if you got to have someplace to go. If you're going to jump ship, you don't have a spot on a roster at a Giro or a Tour de France. You're not getting to go anywhere. I mean,
exactly,
unless you're the cream of that team and somebody's lost a sprinter or lost a climber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is a win at Dunkirk going to give you the attention of larger teams?
Well, that's what I was thinking too. And then eventually, just like happens in soccer, riders begin to think that they are bigger than the club that they are in.
Yeah.
So Caleb Ewan, for instance, if they continue to ride 4 days of Dunkirk, which no offense to the race, but the Giro is a little bit more prestigious in my opinion.
Yeah. Heck tongue bigger.
Yeah.
I said heck.
But
that is God. Good job.
Fucking
A. Better. Should I count?
That one doesn't count. That's not yours.
I get freebies.
Okay.
But I think Caleb's going to be saying, I'm bigger than this club. I'm bigger than these races. I'm bigger than all this stuff. Let's say a team, Quick Step, loses a sprinter. EF is out there looking for somebody for a sprinter. He's going to take that immediately if you're a World Tour team.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson covered that really well.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to expand on that. That was
sorry,
dude. No,
you win.
You nailed that. Wow. I guess
so proud.
Yeah, he's smarter than I am.
Well,
he doesn't say fuck.
Tally it up.
That's fine.
Oh,
now
that's
playing. Now I'm just playing around. I can do this. I got this.
Yeah.
I got this.
You're going to burn through them, and then you're going to be
I'm going to be like, oh, no, what did I do? Is cyclocross a true winter sport is the next story. Did anyone catch the snowcross last weekend at Val di Sole in Italy?
Mm-mm.
I saw a good portion of the images, yeah.
Both Fem Van Empel and Eli Isabet, I'm sorry about names, crashed hard, losing their overall World Cup leads in this race. And Mathieu van der Poel actually was rumored to be pretty shaken up by the conditions. His dad was the person to speak for him, saying he was concerned about the conditions. If you didn't see it, snow. It was basically fat biking, and I have a potential issue with, I don't know if it's our sport or if it's the mentality of athletics where we have to do this stuff over the top extreme because we think that our audience needs to keep attention to something, that we're doing these bizarre sports. I don't think cyclocross is a snow sport.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's an intense, crazy weather sport, but I don't think that it's a
But it's an
snow
off-season sport with all weather involved, like football. Okay, just go way into American football.
Yeah.
You go to Lambeau Field and you're playing in the snow. Oh, no, we can't play in snow. We play in a dome.
But they're plowing the field
plowing
and
the
all that
field,
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
and it's 11
yeah,
degrees and it's snowing, and we've
True,
all
true.
seen, games where you can't tell what yard line they're on by the
right.
mid game. So to say that cyclocross, like you could define that, you could say, hey, cross races, we're going to cancel it like baseball. It starts to rain, let's cancel it. Too much mud, let's cancel it. But that's not what cross is.
Yeah.
Road racing doesn't follow those rules. They do cancel mountaintop stages where the plows, it's ridiculous. But we've all seen those ones where like Andy Hampston wins in, the Giro
Beautiful
in
day.
the snow.
Yeah.
We love it. So until you say this cancels, then cross is like it should just don't start. If you don't want to ride in that,
But
don't start.
you look at the riders who were leading the World Cup at the time had
Is a
to
bit-
start.
Yeah, otherwise we lose their place.
Or they crash really hard
And
and,
a s-
they are no longer
and-
in the World Cup.
And the fact that this race is it cross?
Well, I think a really important question when it came to this race was: is there a difference between like spectacle and necessity here?
Thank you. That's God. You're on fire tonight.
What
You
can I
guys should
say?
switch.
Wow.
switch
I know.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
I've always said
line
Jack
them up.
should take the console, but yeah, he
But
can
I-
have the directional money.
Yeah, there we go. But I was hearing that a lot of it was very icy and almost dangerous to these riders, to where then you're kind of killing the point system of it all. If your leader can't ride, then sure, crashes are something in this race. But if two people crash from two different races, then it kind of begins to make you wonder, like, is this really necessary? Do we really need to make it in the snow? Because most of the time, typically, cross racing is done in mud and grass.
Do
you
we
know?
need to approve a venue at the top of a ski resort as opposed to do we need to approve more venues that are lower level that have, yes, ice,
Rain
maybe some
or-
frozen
yeah.
patches, but sand and mud. And that's what cyclocross
The World
is.
Championships was on a beach
Yeah. Yeah.
last year,
Yeah.
and everybody
They were
complained about
riding in
it.
the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There was
yeah.
still a winner to that race, and it seems as though, and unless you start
I think
putting
you're
it
talking
into
2 years ago, by the way.
Supercross, maybe
Yeah,
it was.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if you're talking like motocross, and you're putting it in a stadium where the climate is controlled, what are you going to cancel a World Cup race? I mean, sorry, we're not going to do this one-off World Cup race. You can't.
I think they shouldn't make it a World Cup race.
Should there be an option?
So I think the
should
top
there
of a
be an
mountain
option?
or something is a bad
Should
idea.
there be an
Yeah.
option like when we were in school, like you could throw out one race?
Oh, I get what
I
you're
like
saying.
that.
Yeah, you get rid
You
of
could
your
say,
worst.
I'm
keep
not
your
doing the
best.
snow stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the snow stuff. I'm leading the World Cup. That's going to be my one.
Wow, you have come up with like
choose.
2 good ideas in 2 weeks.
Don't
Fuck
tell
yeah.
anybody.
But I don't know if that creates a sport of consistency. Because let's say it comes down to it, there are 2 riders down at the final race that are close. Let's say Pidcock is leading by a couple points,
And he
then
says,
Van
"I'm out."
Tornhout, he said, "Oh, this one doesn't count."
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
it's
then-
still the best of average, right? Like, I
But-
mean, if everybody gets to annihilate one,
But is that really what traditional sport is?
But-
It's
but if
usually
you're
the best
adding
of
up all the
all
points.
competition.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
you're-
I'm not saying like the Tour de France, somebody gets to say, hey, Mount Ventoux doesn't count.
Yeah.
Or Alpe d'Huez doesn't count or something like that. But
I think they should still have to start it and finish it.
yeah.
But then, like, if you get
Yeah,
last
you
place,
just go slow, or
it doesn't matter. It's so you get 0 points.
yeah.
But you'd get like negative points or something like that if you.
Didn't
I think
show.
Didn't even
Easterbit's
start
still
it.
in, technically. I mean, he's in, although he hit the ground hard. He hit hard. It carried him off in a stretcher.
Yeah, they carried both of them off, didn't they?
Yeah, they did
Wow.
both of them off. Yeah. So, I guess we don't have any solutions. There we go. The topic tonight for everybody is brought to us by our friends at Pack Sports. Helmets, gear, eyewear, and more. Great quality, the best design, and forward thinking. Pack, baby. That's my catchphrase for him there.
Puck, baby.
Pack, baby.
I like
Nice.
it. Yeah, stay with that.
I want to talk about the people in charge. I'm guessing that all of us caught at least a part of the football soccer World Cup this last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Undeniably, if you saw it, one of the best soccer matches I have ever personally seen in my entire life. It was unbelievable. And did you get Jackson all the way through it without any spoilers?
I unfortunately had it spoiled for me, so I wasn't able to. It was the Fox Sport app itself.
Wow.
So I wasn't able to witness that on my own emotions, which really hurt.
Did you throw
is it
stuff?
Okay, but is it because you didn't
Yeah.
want to get up in the morning, or is it because you had stuff
He had
to
to go
do?
to church.
A little bit of, yeah. A little. It was a little bit of both. I didn't want to necessarily get up, but I also had things going on at the same time.
Yeah,
so
okay.
yeah.
I got up at about 7:40. It started at 7:00 our time, and I missed the first half.
I jumped in for overtime.
Did you? Oh,
Perfect.
It was.
I missed the
2-0.
first half. I missed the first
2-0
half,
at the half.
and I'm not gonna lie. This is nothing out of spite, but it's gonna sound horrible. But my mother-in-law and her boyfriend were over at the house. They showed up at about right before overtime, and all this stuff was going on. And my mother-in-law is moving around the house, and she's putting stuff under the tree, which is right in front of the TV. She's moving around the house. My wife and I we're so glued to this game,
Enamored.
and
Yeah.
she's just like.
Oblivious.
La, 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 la. And I was just like, shut up! I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to put you in the closet. she's like, and she looked at me once and said, oh, am I in the way? And I was like, you're in the way.
No.
Yeah, oh, bless her
Not
heart.
at
Bless
all.
her heart.
Not at all.
Yeah, she's being so sweet about it. But, so we all know about the event. We all know about the circumstances surrounding the event. We all know about the atrocities that went into the venue, the people behind the event, the actions of those people, and most importantly, an organization that not only chose the location but likely profited from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad stuff. I'm going to use one of my words. It was fucking bad.
Yep.
I'm at 6.
Burn
That's
a
appropriate.
Yeah, I burned a match there because that was terrible. And I'm not a holier than thou person. I knew everything going in, and I still watched. And
You
part of me felt
boycott.
bad about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, part of me, well, a lot of me should have felt bad about it. FIFA is renowned for its alleged corruption. But are we free of that in the sport of cycling?
No.
Here we go. Talk to me about your opinions. We're going to start at the top, and we're going to move our way down. I want to talk about governing bodies in sport and what is working, what is not working, what is completely messed up, and what needs to change. Your opinions, if anybody has them, I'll just open this up to the entire forum here. Opinions about the UCI, about your visions of how the sport of cycling is managed on a global level. Excuse me. Does anybody have anything that's popping into their heads immediately right out of the gates? I have said, and I'll give you some cues. We've seen some decisions taking over the world of gravel. They also did it with mountain biking. Mm-hmm. Issues affecting women's racing. Pay scales, the calendar itself, and the ranking of teams in and out of the World Tour, which we just talked about earlier. So what are your thoughts about the UCI, what they're doing? And can we blame them directly for how the sport has evolved?
I think it's one thing that comes to my mind is preferential is a word. I think that we always say that that everybody deserves to be on the same playing field, and I very much agree that everybody deserves to be there. But I think that in a world of numbers and dollars, I think that no matter what, I think that there will probably be riders out there that still have the opportunity to gain an illegal edge. I think that I have no proof behind this, you know.
You
But
have history.
yeah, history.
Yeah.
I think that there are riders out there that could potentially be doing these things, but because they are so famous or so
Certain team.
certain teams.
Influential and money exchange hands.
And
Donate to drug enforcement.
Everybody knows who we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not going to get in trouble.
Yeah, but I think that specific riders will always get away with certain things because of their name in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that kind of disappoints me a little bit. But then I also think that they have kind of halted the development of the sport in terms of technology a little bit. I mean, why do we need the typical triangle? Why do socks have to be a specific height? You know, all that type of stuff. I feel like we could be traveling at such different speeds or testing the boundaries of what we could really do in this sport, but because of a governing body. And, I mean, I'm not saying I want to see, like, those weird tri bikes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
soft ride's coming back.
Yeah. But I'd also like to see what we could do within specific like parameters, you know?
Yeah, I would add to that because I do agree with you on pretty much all of that. And that like they were so corrupt back in the day, right? But I do think that they're better, and I do think like there obviously has to be a governing body. Like, you look at Formula One, for instance, it's the same thing. Like, you have to meet X, Y, and Z requirements. And so, I don't know, with triathlon, you'll see people, like, you know, win Ironman, and they win it on this spaceship bike. And it's like, God, you had 100-fold advantage over, you know, the entire bike period over this other rider just because of sponsorship. So I do appreciate that they do have those boundaries on the bike, but I do think that it is corrupt. Like, and it's just not a fair game, right? And balancing it between men and women as well. Yeah, but that's always going to be hard. Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to have name drop Pat McQuaid, former UCI president, as an interview. By the way, look back in the archives and you'll find that one. And there were so many moments where I probably should have pressed the issue and asked some more about the darker sides of the UCI, but I didn't want him to just go, screw you and hang out. Yeah, hang out. I'm at 6. I only got 4 more. Yeah. So it's so hard to kind of get the truth behind a lot of that stuff that's going on. If you guys had to give the UCI, and now we're going broad, because does the UCI affect us individually? As cycling fans, yes, but not as cyclists. We don't have any bearing upon what they do. I mean,
that's what the UCI did this last year. Okay, that pissed me off. Eliminating the like top tube descent. That pissed me off. Like stuff like that ruins a lot.
Or the puppy
things.
paws.
Yeah, yes, or the puppy paws. God, that stuff is stupid. Because that's not like you're riding your equipment on the very edge. And if you're going to take that risk, so be it.
Yeah. And at the pro level, you should be able to. USA Cycling may say, puppy paws at a certain category. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
these are professionals.
I like downhill skiing. I'm not going to go up there and be, Bodie Miller or Michaela Schifrin and suddenly start bombing down the hill and paying no attention to the fact that I ran over a couple kids.
Exactly. Yeah. That's my point. So, I mean, I think that like UCI doing stuff like that.
They're picking weird battles.
Yes.
They're picking really weird battles.
And that does affect us
throwing
too.
Throwing a water bottle to a fan is a fine.
Yeah, that was terrible. No, you're okay. I'm good. You have free range. You have carte blanche.
Fuck.
And God. Okay, now I'm on a rant.
There you go.
Go.
The other thing is the stupid fines that they hand out for, X, Y, and Z. And I understand we don't want to litter and all that, but like they just hand out these tiny little insignificant fines that are like, why do you get the money for this? Like that money, if anything, should go to the local city that they threw
for cleanup.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they had a sweep crew coming through, and they're like, "Yeah, well, picking up this wrapper after you, Cavendish, is going to cost $100."
Yeah. And we're at the point where we have to embrace the fact that our sport, road cycling, predominantly, and I'm not talking about. Well, I can talk about gravel to an extent, but not mountain biking. This is not a green sport.
No.
The amount of helicopters, cars, all kinds of stuff, motorcycles, all spewing filth into the air. This is not a green sport.
For being a bike that is like human powered,
the most clean and efficient method of propulsion.
Yes, we are ruining it
terrible.
entirely. Like we complain about like Formula One burning gas for races. I'm like, we have individual wrappers that we're wrapping up product in.
And we're also looking at situations like finish line straights and sections where riders are flying out, rider safety. So, I mean, I guess we could bitch all day about UCI and the fact that they're picking wrong battles. Can we agree they're picking wrong battles?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's switch the shift then. Let's bring it a little bit more narrow and something that we might have a little bit of bearing within. The USAC, formerly the United States Cycling Federation, USCF. Yeah. United States Cycling. We can all agree that road cycling is in trouble in this country. Can we all go with that one?
Yeah.
Gravel's doing well. But by the way, speaking of the UCI, I don't like what they're doing with gravel. They're going to ruin gravel. They're going to kill gravel.
They made a road race this year.
Yeah, that was a dirty road race. What does the USAC do well, in your opinions?
Crush hopes and dreams. That's a trigger word for me. USAC is like, I'm on a rant. I canceled my membership for next year. I'm like,
you would need a license, though.
You don't.
To race at 1-2 level, you do.
For most, but I was looking at it. You don't need it for a lot of
because you can't get a 1-day license as a 1-2.
Yeah,
just saying that.
I know that,
okay.
But like a lot of the races are not.
So you're going to boycott a race that is USA cycling.
I might still pay the entry fee and then just not show up. Yeah.
Oh.
Or I'll just
what about
buy
state
it like the night
championship?
before.
RC3, if it's a state championship, you're fine.
If Jackson's at 3, I'll be there. God, it's such a trigger for me. It's one of those things. I'm just mad that like they're pulling from all of the small people to feed these national teams instead of going after the national committee to getting like Olympic money for this stuff, right? Like, why am I funding a person that I don't know and I don't really care what they do internationally, but my fees as a daily rider are becoming exponentially more expensive? You guys are going to get me started.
No, this is exactly what I was hoping for because I'd like to break down what they do for us personally and as individual paying members.
A really simple explanation for that is when you are a USAC promoter, race, club, and all the fees and the license, it goes. I mean, ultimately, whether it's the national, teams out racing, the national schedule, or whether it's the team going to the Worlds. It's the only way that gets funded versus if we're going OBRA, and we're going to cheat and just put in a race and go, well, we got our insurance, show up, race. None of that money goes to there. So the decision would be, do we want a national program and the Olympic program or not? And we can have both. But we can have both. When the Olympics comes around,
I don't give a shit. When did we last do anything at the Olympics?
Graywall. No, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I want
but,
people to have hopes and dreams on to going on to the next level.
Miansky got a fourth, or Miansky got a bronze, I think, in '88.
Yeah. But you're right in that sense.
Who's also been on the show?
A lot of
wow.
So
you've been at this for a while.
I've been doing it for 20 years.
I think there's a balance of if 50% of the races were USAC and you went out and kind of I got to give back to the sport in that way, and then the mom and pops are Orbra or whatever, I'll give back in that way, or I'll get a better deal that way. So I think there's got to be kind of a 50-50. It used to all be USCF, and it all went to Lance or to whoever at the time. But we all had dreams of getting on the national team too. So,
I'm a big fan of contributing into a program. For instance, my donations to local races.
But perfect. You should put not Sam on it.
I know.
Here's my money. I won't be there.
Here's my money. I won't be there. Sponsored by.
Just change your name.
Just change my name. Kind of like Ocho Cinco or whatever.
Prince and
But yeah, I just think there's got to be a better way that we can do that type of stuff. And something that I was looking at is Vegan Cyclist. He's a big YouTube guy.
I watched a good chunk of his stuff today while I was down here.
Yeah, did you see one that was about his Fonda that he put on that was just free, and why he said he did it free instead of with cost? And it's totally relevant to this topic is that he chose free because he just wants to bring cyclists together. And once you start charging, then you have to have insurance, and you have to have volunteers, and you have to have police barricades and all this other stuff. and there's just no free option, or not. Okay, free is the word that I actually want to avoid with
Low
this,
cost.
but like low cost option for everybody who. Honestly, like at the local level, these big governing bodies aren't doing us any good, right? Like,
I will say,
I sound like the anti-government guy.
No, you're not.
That's not me. I want to be honest. Like, that's not me.
You love bureaucracy.
I am first. Before I comment on my thoughts, I just want to get Jackson. You're kind of new to this. Do you see anything in terms of benefit from the fact that once a year you have to pay for a license?
No.
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 Yeah.
I get to enter a race with a picture on my phone.
Yep.
That's all I do with it. And which sucks because I have to pay $100 or more.
And I will say,
and that is stupid. Why
you can get insurance through
I
them.
looked it
Like
up
that
today.
is big. You can get insurance through USAC. Good for them for adding that in. I think it was last year.
$25,000 of incidental, like
So if you have a huge crash in a race, I want to say, like, it's not like they're doing nothing for us, but also that is an extra cost you have to add on to your license. It's not just a
Yeah. And
I put on a race. I am the co-director of a 24-hour mountain bike race. We are not affiliated with any governing body. We get our own insurance. We put our own event on our own way, and there used to be a day when USAC would penalize riders for attending races that weren't a part of their organization.
Let's see,
I can't remember how they penalize. What was the penalty?
It was like you could potentially lose your license.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so I will say that I've gone through the ups and downs. I'm trying to find positivity in these organizations, and we know that races aren't happening. Insurance issues seems to be the main issues focused with it. And we run into a lot of liability issues, and now we're running into more. We need more cars, we need more officials, we need more. And then a race director's going, "Oh my God, I need to pay these officials from the moment they leave their driveway to the moment they hit their driveway at the end of a race, to all these things," and it makes it financially impossible to put on a race. And so none of us are seeing necessarily any positive benefit from these membership fees. Jack, you're hesitant.
It's not financially impossible.
I'm not going to.
But I think people, if they're looking to make money promoting bike racing, then that's the wrong reason to put on a bike race. If you can break even, so be it. That's should be the goal.
Yeah. You talked to me about a free fondo that scares the shit out of me. Because a free fondo means you're just like it's a group gathering, and somebody's going to crash, somebody's going to sue your ass off.
Right, that's what his point was.
That terrifies me.
You're not liable if you accept no money.
Yeah.
If you accept no money for this, and that gave me total reassurance
like
for putting on the Thursday night.
Yeah, you
I'm like, I'm all in now because he was making a point. He's like, no, if there is no money exchanged, you have zero liability.
No contract.
I showed up, and this is what I'm riding. All are welcome.
Okay.
And I suppose the text
that would be a
I
brilliant
talked
way to
with a local lawyer that was like deep into these cases. He's big on bikes, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, no, if there's no money,
we need this person on the show.
Yeah, I can do that. But like he was saying, he's like, if there's no money exchanged, it's really hard to pin liability to anybody.
Yeah.
He's like, if it's just you're going out and riding, it's everybody for themselves.
We're going to narrow things down.
But then you can't make money as like a race promoter, which like you should if that's like
I'd like to make a little coin.
Like you
It's
put in a lot of time
lot
for
of time.
24.
Yeah.
You should get compensated for that. Same with like Eric Anderson, all the work he did, right?
Yeah.
Like you should get compensated for that. I just don't know the balance.
I think the balance as a whole should be mom and pop racing, OBRA racing, and USAC racing.
Yeah.
We have 20 races, 10 races, 5 races a year over here. We need all of those back to 100 racing. We need a Thursday night training series race that's legitimate. We need
Sam's getting excited.
We need the ability to race 100 races a year, not go, well, I'm looking forward to, these 3 races a year because and they may or may not happen.
Yeah.
So I don't care how it all happens, that it all happen. It needs to happen.
So
From
did
all angles.
Did you guys see I'm going to blank it because I've had enough to drink, but there was What is the National Crit League that they're forming? Is it NCL? Is it something like that? Is it that simple? Am I missing
I'm going
it?
to say Mayor's Cup, Jack, and that'll...
No, but there is it's
What was
something
it
like that.
for
Like there's
RCA?
and there was a big backer that just like stepped in, some basketball player. They now have $7.5 million for this, and there's 4 cities that are confirmed that they're going to put, like, it's in Miami, it's in Washington D.C.
Sounds like a Reggie Miller thing, but I could be wrong.
He's a
but-
big
Could be.
Yeah,
you
there's
go.
a whole bunch of big ones. But so what I'm saying with this point is that, like, those big scenes, those are what should be funding and be like, putting it towards USAC. There should be a separate category that is ma and pa liability insurance for like your local pickup
Kind of
races,
a,
so that it's almost like a feeder
on
team,
a curve in a way where you're like, okay, if you're this level bike race, you're sending 10 grand to USA Cycling. If you're mom and pop, you're sending 1,000.
Yes.
I would love to be able to start a race and have my fees low, my insurance covered, and grow into a moment where I could be a member of that series.
See, okay, so
The Spokane
USAC,
Downtown
we just
Crit.
solved your problem.
Yeah. There we go.
Call 1-800
Reggie Miller.
Packfiller.com.
Reggie Miller. Packfiller.com, yeah.
Right. Oh, sorry.
So to bring it even more personal, and I hope it's okay with my fellow members that I say this thing. I think it's by default. I've been elected as the Eastern representative of the Washington State
Your
Bicycling
life's over.
Association. Yeah, it is. And we had our first meeting last week, and it was interesting to hear a person talk about the good old days where every team had to put on a race.
You were that person, huh?
Because you've been saying
No,
that.
it wasn't me.
You've been saying that, though. So
Yeah,
you're like,
I didn't say it.
Fuck yeah.
For once, I didn't say a
Gosh darn thing. Look at you.
darn thing.
You couldn't find the unmute button on the Zoom meeting, could you?
I don't know
You're
my
like,
way around a fucking Zoom meeting.
Tally.
I'm trying.
Yeah, it's just I forgot how horrible those things are. But there was a person who talked about that. The good old days. We had, every team had to put on a race, and
Who's
I would
the
like
president?
to. It doesn't matter.
WSBA?
I'm not going to name any names because that's not cool yet. We don't want to do that yet. But I will ask you guys: does any of you? Jack probably does more than anybody else, so I'll let Jack answer last. Does any of you know what the Washington State Bicycle Association does?
Yeah, they have like a little collection of all the different road signs and things like that you can, mark off races. And then
Can we get him over here?
I don't know if that trailer is over here. Is it?
They used to have an East Side.
West Side trailer?
Yeah, an East
I don't
Side
know of an
trailer,
East Side
but-
trailer. I just know that the West Side one.
So that's
I don't know about that
That's an
now.
asset. Jackson, do you know what the Washington State Bicycle Association does? Before you heard that
Yes, they gave me a net gator 2 years ago.
Wow.
That's all that
And
I
a
know.
number.
And
Okay.
2 fabric numbers. That's
Yeah.
all I know.
Yeah.
And okay, I know I'm new to racing, but I have also been racing since I was in
You've been
high
doing it
school,
forever, Jay.
which is now
Yeah.
5 years ago.
yeah.
Oh my.
And you want to know what?
Such a
I
baby.
know.
But-
My kids
Child.
are now. Mine's
Yeah.
Adorable. Yeah.
But 5 years is half a decade. That's quite a while.
Who is this guy?
Realistically, though, that is a long time in a life. A lot can happen.
yeah.
Yeah, totally.
You want to know how much has happened with WSBA, though?
What?
Nothing.
No.
Well, their numbers became fabric in that time.
Well,
They
yeah.
used
they
to
did.
be paper.
Yeah. But for me personally, that's all that I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you, Jack? You probably know. Talk to me, man. You put on races.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned in my Zoom meeting. I'm not going to say anybody's
By the
names.
way, I only know that because of hosting races.
Yeah, about Vance Creek, about the fact that they want that venue's waiting, and
I
for
know.
people who don't know, people who are all over the world listening to the show, I sound like Donald Trump. People all over the world, everybody's listening to the show.
You gotta get your hands up.
There's big.
but huge. But who don't know that location? This is a venue in our state that is actually a little freaky because it's near old. Nuclear
never
towers.
fired off. Let's
Yes,
just say that.
but they still are.
They're
there.
looming in the distance.
Yeah, they,
They
are. It's
are.
just like it's.
we're racing by them, and you're looking up, going, "Fuck."
I keep waiting for Matthew Broderick to try to talk them the machine to stop planning. Would you like to play a game? Really old reference, but that venue is still open, and
Yeah.
they were talking about it.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we need somebody to put on a race back there." And you have
I've already mentioned it.
your talk to me about
If
what
you put it on, I will show up at that start line.
What if it's
anybody
a USAC
else,
race? What if it's a USAC race?
I'd show
you
up.
are trying to hurt me, but I'll buy a license for you.
Yeah.
Oh.
So talk to me about what WSBA gave you.
So,
And by the way, I'm sorry, I want to preempt this because there are people who aren't in Washington listening to this show, and I know they
Washington
have
State
local
Bicycle
organizations who exist who might not be doing what we want them to do.
Sure.
And my question would be, not knowing the answer to this, is there WSBA of other states?
Yeah.
So
Regions.
I think Obra is one of them, right?
Yeah.
They're their own WSBA. But
So they do
Oregon-
the same things
Oregon
as
Bicycle
like
Racing Association.
WSBA, but in
Yes.
Oregon. Okay, cool.
OBRA is
Tracking.
more of a self-sustaining organization that is actually, by the way, OBRA is Oregon Bicycle Racing Association, and it has freed itself from United States cycling. It puts on its own races. It has its own insurance. It is its own independent entity. Washington State is still technically under the, their races are still under United States
cycling refs and everything.
Yeah. So, sorry, that
it's
took
fine.
a long time to give you the mic.
It's fine. It's been 15 years since I promoted Vance Creek. Eric Anderson took it over for me. He worked with me on it. Took it over brilliantly. He's a super organized guy. I'm trying to figure out a way to, it got canceled last year, and now obviously, some people want to see it back. I mean, Paul talks about it. I'm sure people.
Sucks.
It's one of the, it's a
like
a
what,
really good
800
course.
foot climb?
No,
Yeah.
it's a brilliant road race course for an all-arounder because it's got a brutal little climb.
I just
but
don't like
but
hills.
it's just it's this the sweetness down in the valley is like you're almost European.
Yeah.
Roads.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
narrow.
think European roads.
So not to cut you short, but
Okay.
talk to me about
So
what
what did
WSBA
WSBA
has done for you
So
in those years.
in promoting that, so the fee you pay to be a WSBA member gets you your number. The $5 an entry that goes to WSBA or whatever it is maintains that equipment. That equipment is lights, radios, every car, lead car, follow car. Everybody's got a radio. And we're talking quality CB, shortwave radios.
Vests, signs, stop signs for corner marshals.
Lights that go in the car.
Yeah.
Signs that set you up for cyclist bike racing going on. All of that. It's in a trailer. So essentially, if you are promoting a race that is a WSBA race, you just go pick up the trailer, and part of your entry fee pays the WSBA to maintain and own that. So there's this fund that it goes into. It's a brilliant little subset that makes cycling very professional in the state of Washington. When you get to use that stuff, it makes counties want to allow you to put on a bike race because you've got flaggers, you've got signs, you're not just willy-nillying, your way around the county roads. So every state that puts on bike racing should have this is a perfect example of the perfect cycling promotion from an organization, not an individual. You could own all that for your mountain bike race and just show up and go, I got it all. I got timing.
I purchased a trailer last year. Yeah,
exactly. So that is a totally different entity.
It's a huge expense.
And you are on a closed course. When you go to an open course, it's another ballgame.
But this is so important for people listening to know that if I'm paying money and all I think I'm getting is a cloth number.
Yeah, there's more.
No, there's so much more.
Yeah.
And that is so important for all of us to know that there's so much happening behind the scenes
there's a meeting of calendars. There's a
SAM USAC membership.
Pause. I'm a huge WSBA fan. I know what
there
WSBA
is a difference.
There's a WSBA committee. I know about WSBA. I'm a big fan of WSBA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do not like USAC.
Okay.
And unfortunately, they are
And
hand in
unfortunately,
hand.
they go together.
Yeah.
Let me ask one final question before we get to some silly shit. What would you like to see from, especially, this sounds selfish. This sounds very specific in terms of this podcast, being that we're global. But I think the average listener will listen to this and think about how they can affect their own region. I didn't want to do this gig, but I sit here behind this microphone way too often, talking about how the sport needs to change, and it's time I fucking stepped up.
That was 2.
Yeah,
I want to be
Did
clear.
I say
that was
2?
2.
Did I say?
You got one
Okay.
to
You
go.
said you like didn't
Don't
finish
say
it.
Son of a gun! I'm at 9. I'm gonna end the show with just that F-bomb. But I did the gig because I spent too much time talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
And so what would the average listener like to see in their own community to help represent themselves? From their money they're putting towards it. Jackson, for somebody who's just kind of going, dude, I just want to race my bike.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you like to see in terms of that fee? Where would you like to see it presented?
I think I'd like to see it if I'm paying as Jack gave the number earlier, if I'm paying a pretty hefty figure, I would love to, have more. I know that's so much more. I know that's a lot to ask for in terms of like the people that are getting paid and all the things that have to go into it. But there was one within the past year, and I think I would just like to. I'm not speaking on WSPA. I'm more speaking on USAC.
Yeah, that's what I want you to speak on. Yeah,
and I think they shouldn't make it so difficult. Why does everything have to cost so exponentially much? Why do you have to pay so much for a referee to get there? Like all of these costs that kind of begin to kill an event. Those are the things that I want to see. If they can't go away, I want them to just lighten up a little bit on not the rules, but just the fines that they are requiring these people to pay. I know for a fact that if I went out to put on a race right now, I could not do it on my own dime. And I think that it takes now so much money to really get anything done. And bringing it back to money, that's what's going to run our sport. And I think that could be what kills a sport.
You know what the sport needs? It needs more officials.
I was going to say,
all of us need to take a simple, stupid online test and be an official for a small race in your region.
like you're promoting
and just
the race.
cover it. Nobody has to travel.
Yeah.
You got locals, you got 10, 12, 14 people who are all just like, yeah, I'm a Cat 4 official. I'll show up and I'll cover your race. It has less than 50 people. We got it. Yeah, I'll do it. Give me a sandwich and a beer.
A couple people or a few people are making careers out of it,
Yeah.
and that is where the travel. You can't expect anybody to do it for free.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. If every club was required to put on a race, and every club was required to get 2 people in the club to
Be officials.
we would be like
Ding ding.
solved.
You know what?
Solved.
It's just,
you boys best keep sweating out there.
the old school had it kind of figured out.
Yeah.
And we loosened that restriction and all. Anyway, so
Well, regulations in some ways can be good.
yeah, So let's shift gears. Let's take a moment to get some helpful information from Sam. I hope I'm throwing you under the bus, man. This is Quick Tips with Bike Fit Sam, brought to you by Ambassador Cycling. Check out all the help you can get at ambassadorcycling.com. Do that. We have a link on packfiller.com, or just go old school. Type in the DOTCOM. No, not DOT.
Just
dot then
Yep.
COM. I don't understand how these kids do these days.
The interweb.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Yeah, so I've been thinking about this, how to bike fit today, and primary cause was that what we touched on last week, the fore and aft of the saddle. He was having some knee pain, but it also led to another issue that was with his hands, and it made me think also of you.
Yeah, Mary, I've just been
know.
bing.
Yep, and so I think a big thing to touch on this week is going to be the rotation of handlebars. And let's keep it simple with road, because road and mountain are definitely obviously different things.
Sure.
being roadies here. So if we look at the where you'd put the end cap on a drop bar, right? That should be perpendicular to the ground.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have that. So it's like rotated up so that if you look at that end cap angle, like if you just stare at it from the side, it's actually more like a 45-degree angle. So your bars are rotated way up because they're like trying to like almost shorten their reach. But what it does is it puts a lot of pressure on your wrists, on your carpal tunnel, and makes your hands go numb. So what we did is we rotated this guy's bars forward, rotated the shifters back. That shortened his reach, and it made it so that how you feel is like when you're reaching out to shake someone's hand. That's how your bars should feel, like you're shaking someone's hand.
So I have an issue being an old school roadie where my brake levers always had to be pointing straight out. And I'm seeing so many bikes where the levers are shifting up. I mean, the bars, it's not the bars are rotated, but the lever,
they rotated the lever up. Yeah.
How do you deal with all this curmudgeon-y bastards who just like, this is how it looks cool versus how it should work?
Yeah, so there's a happy medium there because I think people have overcompensated with that, and they've definitely rotated it up too far. Yeah, that's the only thing people overcompensate with. So this part, though, if you rotate the handlebars too far up, then you get that really steep angle. And the old school is kind of right in that you want it like straight, off, so that the hood should lead straight into the top bar. Hopefully this is
not like Eddie's bars right there. That's a little low.
That's the old school. That would be dropping down.
Jackson probably can't get that.
Yeah.
So the tip of his brake lever is literally parallel with the bottom of the drop. That's pretty far down.
But no. Yeah, see where the
You got it?
Yeah.
yeah. Do you see where the like the bar end is at the bottom?
Exactly.
Exactly. That's
Parallel
perpendicular
with the top.
Yeah, so it's
to her.
parallel.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's how it should be. So check your bars that they're there, and then the hood should be coming straight out off the top. Keep it simple.
You know who bought this for me?
Michelle.
This picture. The crazy mother-in-law who I was just kind of making jokes about.
What a sweet lady.
nice-
You're bashing on her?
It was in an art gallery, and she just saw it, and I talked about it.
She's like, oh, look, it's a bike.
And then she bought it, and she didn't tell me she bought it. I saw it. It was in her town. It was in a little town in North Idaho.
They had that picture.
They had that picture?
Idaho.
You liar.
Everything you see, framed, matted, everything was in a studio in North Idaho.
Wow, I'd live there.
Right?
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's a great gift. And she was probably like, "Oh yeah, there's a bicycle in this."
Yeah,
It's
no,
like-
she saw it. Well,
She
I
probably
was
knows.
talking
She
about
know.
it. I was talking about it with her, and I said, "Oh my god, that is the best cyclist of all time. That is an amazing picture." And I walked out of the store, and she bought it. She gave it to me for Christmas.
Wow.
What a
There we
sweetheart.
go. Speaking of Christmas, it's the last Christmas segment of the holiday season, you guys.
Sad.
And something's
Don't do
it. It's too early.
something is fucked up about this Christmas presentation. Take a look around the room. We all wear happy little Christmas sweaters.
And except for me,
Jack-
nobody gave me
Jackson's
the
got a
memo.
happy little
Not a
Christmas
part of the
sweater.
game anymore.
And you know what?
I know I'm like a fucking sideshow Bob.
Yeah, he's like a third wheel.
We need
Yeah,
to do something
fuck.
about that.
No.
No.
Jack has
Put
his
it
Christmas
on.
sweater.
Put it on.
It is a chef seasoning
Yeah.
a turkey because
You have
Jack
to put
is
that
the
on.
ultimate
I
chef.
am not the ultimate chef.
You
are.
are too. It's what
Anyone
you're
that can drink after 3
I
IPAs is
could-
an ultimate chef.
It's six IPAs.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
There's
Six? Whoa.
And I only cook for those that I love. I am not the ultimate chef.
You've never cooked anything for any of us.
Ass.
You
I just swore.
jerky
No, Mom, I'm
McJerk
sorry.
pants. I can't swear anymore. I said my
Yeah.
10.
Oh my gosh.
Jerk face.
Oh, look at this. My wife's gonna love this.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's.
Yep.
I
Are
think
you-
you're
are you
putting
putting
it
it
on
on
backwards.
backwards?
I think you're putting it on backwards because the guy seasoning
Yeah.
the turkey is.
Oh wait,
in the
there's
front.
two.
What?
Okay.
What the what?
Oh yeah, I know. He.
Oh,
had it right.
okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's another.
He's
Classic.
He's totally tober.
Honestly, it's like I bought these sweaters from like the worst. Like
Feel free
is that
to-
where these guys came from?
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, I will say the guy seasoning the.
he's doing the elbow shot.
Yeah, so that guy actually showed up at the World Cup final, and
No
he,
way.
yeah, so
It's
he-
a real dude.
Oh, it's a real guy, and he tries to, and he's pretty famous. He cooks for a lot of like very famous athletes.
Wow. Wow.
However, he tried to get a picture with Messi at the end of the World Cup. Messi shrugged him off 3 times.
Wow, I don't
So a little story behind that guy.
Wow.
It's like
Do you know his name?
They call him Salt Bay.
I'm going to look him up. Salt Bay.
Jack, I bought that for you because
I
it was
love
the
it.
chef and the cooking.
I love it. Salt
That's
Bay.
great. Yeah. Feel free to wear that all the time now.
I'm wearing it all week.
Yeah.
It
We've
fits
lived
him
in
better
this.
than your guys' does.
Yeah.
Maybe they
He's
just
got the broader
sag
shoulders. This is
type
why
of-
we've switched jerseys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
He's got it.
I'm slender and I like to
I
feel
do
like
have
a
to say
packed
that
sausage.
nobody noticed that I wore my Batman sweater.
Yeah, no, I did
No,
notice.
we did.
Yeah.
Next, let's do something to round out the show. Oh my God, we're running late. Let's pretend this is a Christmas you finally got what you truly asked for. Cash,
I did my homework for once.
Visa cards, checks from grandma, good old fashioned dead presidents. Cash, baby. Let's say you have $500 in cash burning a hole in your Christmas stocking. Before you go out and fizzle that away on stuff like groceries and bourbon, let's get some recommendations for the best stuff you can blow that cash on before your significant other shames you into, oh, I don't know, just save it for a wedding in July.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's
jerk.
not shaming me. I'm spending it.
Don't save your
No,
money.
no,
Don't save your
no,
money.
no. My wife is doing that.
That's her.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, what would you recommend? And what I'd like you guys to do is something that you already own, something you already possess, perchance. Jack's like, no, I did my homework.
I
but you
bought,
screwed it up.
but I couldn't come up. I bought one thing this year.
Oh,
for
okay.
cycling. It was a
So,
$9,000.
so something
bike.
you'd be maybe crazy about
Yeah.
that you would recommend to our listeners, our friends, our members of the Packfiller, who would be, God, that sounded like a cult, who would be interested in buying something for $500 or under. I will go first. For example, I would tell somebody to buy, and this isn't a sponsor, a yearly subscription to Whoop. Damn it. Oh, I took yours?
No, I had another, but
$480
Really?
for a year. It's a lot of money. But what I've got from this goofy little wrist bracelet, other than the fact that most of my students say, Mr. Pat, why are you wearing 2 watches? Is I have built up a database of understanding my sleep, my habits, such as, I include how many drinks I have. Tonight I'm going to obviously add a lot. My personal
Only 1.5 ounces.
I can't wear that.
Yeah.
I can't wear
my
that.
personal habits,
It'd say,
my
don't
my
train.
life habits, and
Don't train.
it takes into account so much stuff. And I love the fact that I am learning. I go to bed and I'm like, I had, I'm not gonna lie, 5 drinks tonight. My Whoop score is going to be low. And sure enough, it is. And I am learning about myself so much from this device.
Mm-hmm.
And it 1 year for $480. I it's coming out of my own pocket, and I do it every year.
Mm-hmm.
That would be one of my recommendations. Does anybody want to go next? Now that I took Jackson's?
I mean, I can easily come up with one that I already have. I had a couple that I was going to buy, but one that I already have. Nice
it could be
shoes.
something you're going to buy too.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll say like one that I already have. I'll plug it. Specialized shoes.
Yeah.
Man, those S-Work shoes and they last forever. Like I bought a pair full pop and I think they're $450. Like they are not cheap. And I've had those things for now. This pair I've had for 3 years. The pair before that I had for 6 or 7 years, and I only bought new ones because I was like, I want to look fresh.
Yeah.
I didn't need them. Those a good pair of shoes, whatever the brand, awesome, right? I think there's some good Shimano ones out there.
Footwear and eyewear, never skimp.
I will say for cycling shoes for the rest of my life, a carbon sole makes quite the difference.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Between
And a
plastic.
footbed.
Yep. And then I will say the other ones that I was going to buy would be Envy bars because they have some really cool ergonomic designs, like what I was talking about, that have a little sweep in the bar, so it makes it so that your wrists are a little bit more neutral. Those ones were
You
awesome.
had me at wrists.
Yep.
My hands go numb on my current one. Anyway,
We're gonna fix that.
You're just gonna look at me and go,
year.
dude, you are a mess.
Yeah. It's
Really?
let's start here and then maybe we'll get to the wrist someday.
Yeah. Jackson or Jack. By the way, it cracked me up by your image, Jay, that you put up PJ. That we have 2 P's and 2 J's and 1 S.
Yep, I know. I was doing that. Today. I was thinking about just putting 1 P and 1 J because I didn't need to fill all that space. But I figured I'd include us all. Pat,
Jackson, Sam, Jack, Paul.
Wow.
We have a lot of P's and J's.
Yeah, that is a great. Yeah.
I got to show you how to adjust those. You can adjust those you can crop and zoom.
I did for that one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Yeah. Never mind then. Who would like to say your recommendations next?
Go.
Jackson?
It is not meant to plug a sponsor, but here we are anyways. Yep, for the past 3 years, I have been wearing a specific accessory upon my head. Yep, upon my head that has changed my opinion about what helmet brand I'll probably wear forever. And it's my POC. I have the Ventral, which is the Aero helmet, even though it doesn't really look like one. It does have quite a few vents. See what I did there? Ventral vents. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And I never get overheated. And it comes in a lot of different colors, which I think is really cool that a lot of other companies don't do. Like, you can get yellow, orange, green, black, blue, red, all these different colors for $300.
Now, you are looking at one that is like the color of the image you created.
It's a bit darker. Yeah, I like that forest.
Why?
Because I think that...
It's like army green.
Calm down, man.
I'm upset.
Well, we have some green in our kit, right? We have quite a bit of green in our kit.
Yep.
And
but
it
like
does...
light green, right?
Yeah. But it does also
Kinda
go.
pissy.
Yeah.
Our logo. Yeah.
It's around. But it does...
Like the bar.
Yeah.
I got a jersey down there.
Yeah.
But it all goes.
Okay.
And I think that
you're far more fashion forward than I am. So yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
so you're upset about the white?
No, the green. He's
Oh.
upset about me getting a green.
He wants a green helmet.
Mm-hmm. I think it looks cool, especially because it's one of
But
those
it's
dark
like
greens
olive
that can
green. Yeah,
it can like go between black and green. It's so dark.
That's
so
very gravel of you.
I think it's cool. And there's a team, an African team. I think it's Amani or something like that, and they're sponsored by POC, but they don't all wear the same color of helmet. They're all the same helmet sponsor, though, which I think is kind of
That's
cool.
cool.
I think it's kind of cool that they all wear different helmet colors.
That's cool.
So you can tell who's who.
Yeah. I'm down.
and a sponsor plug.
It's like jockeys.
and a sponsor plug. Yeah. Jack.
Do we want to know?
Hi,
No,
Jack.
not really. This is
like,
something
I'm gonna buy a $400 bottle of bourbon
I would do
and
that.
drink it in 3
No,
drinks.
he would just buy a ton of
3
6-packs
days.
of IPA.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't have any problem with that.
I
you know how careful
so
I
picked
am
something
about
that I
saying an
wanted.
F-bomb right now. I'm
Yeah.
terrified of saying
Yeah,
an
you
F-bomb right now.
here.
You're really...
It usually just
you're
flows
done.
right
Yeah.
from me, and I'm
used it up.
I'm so
Somebody get it.
restricted.
I want anxiety filling your heart right now.
It's a little bit.
There you go.
Jack gave me an A+ though.
Yep. Oh,
Fine.
fine. You can't even add to it. So,
you
this
scratch
is
my bar?
fuck. Probably buff it out in the morning.
You did.
Fucking sorry.
I so want to swear right
You
now.
son
I
of a...
I swore for you.
Jack, say your recommendation.
God damn it. I forgot. So I
we're okay.
really want the SRAM Red Spider power beater for my cranks on my new bike.
There's no way that's
And
$500.
it's for,
No, way that's
Shut
under
your
$500.
mouth.
I'll show you. Look, I got it right
Proof.
here.
I'm gonna swear.
It's on Competitive Cyclist.
I believe him.
On Competitive Cyclist. That's
Bing, bing.
Q to you. Jeez Louise. Pat, I gotta clue you in. Look, fucker.
Zoom out.
He says it's $434.
Yeah.
It's the Spider though.
It's the Spider.
What is
so
it?
you add that to
Yeah,
your
you add
crank.
it to the crank.
Yeah, and you've got a power meter.
God, there's no way that...
Yeah,
That's what it
Now you can buy
said.
the whole crank that's machined in.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
$880,
Yeah.
$889.
At full price, it's $483.
Yeah,
Now
it's a
can I-
great deal.
Now
That's
I'm
still
sure
very
you don't.
expensive.
It's a,
I have
it's a-
that power
It does
meter.
not
Crank.
fit on.
I did
Shimano.
not know it was that cheap. I paid way
Wow.
too much.
Wow.
Wow.
Competitive Cyclist, people.
Jackson,
Wow.
Here, there you go.
Jackson and I
believed it
bought the
the whole
pedals.
time.
We bought the.
I'm doing this.
I see, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't. You have Shimano, so it wouldn't have worked with yours.
It
anyway.
won't match with that.
No, it does not fit.
Wow.
No.
That's how they're taking over the market.
SRAM.
It's good stuff.
That's a good buy. That's a
That's
really
great
good
buy.
buy.
That's a great
It
buy.
is, yes.
All right, Jack.
Jack.
you
I
win.
did something right.
You did something
Way to do
well.
your homework.
For once.
You earned your sweater, Jack.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
I guess we've come to the end of the show. Does anybody have any
Wait, did you
magic-
say what you wanted?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did the whoop.
Oh, yeah, the whoop.
Oh, yeah.
Whoop.
Right.
Yep.
Whoop. Does anybody have any magical things other than the fact that I did not comment on the fact that Jackson was wearing a Santa hat this entire time and it was freaking cool? I said freaking.
Good on you.
I'm growing as a human. Jack, you have something to say?
So I think the takeaway from this evening
You're leaving
is,
the show.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'll be back
Someday.
But no, it's to you got to give back in order to reap the benefits of a bike racing community. If you don't give your day, give up a race and volunteer.
It's better to
What a
give
Santa
than
thing.
receive.
It is a very Christmassy thing.
And
but
that-
no, I'm
This
just
is
saying, because-
Jack.
I know. I come around once in a while and I throw it down. some.
Of all of the wasted words that you've thrown out for hours on end, you nailed it.
And that's the meaning of Christmas, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Lights, please.
Let's put on a race.
Oh my gosh.
LFG.
We're ending at that,
Yep.
right? Everybody. Merry Christmas to all of our listeners, foreign and abroad, and all the ships at sea. I don't know what that means, but I just know I'm supposed to say that because it's a military thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's all bike race next year.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.